Hi, everybody. Ruth Fazal here, and I'm with Kevin Moffatt. And we thought we'd like
Mm,
to just share some thoughts about the creation of creation. And
mm.
as crazy as that sounds, it is crazy. But wow, what a gift God has given us to enter into the creative process. And I thank the Lord so much that as I've written this piece and I was struggling with, okay, Lord, I know we need to make this into a film of some kind because the text is in Hebrew. So we need to see the English translation. And then just the way the piece is built, it needs something, a way to help people just to focus. And I'm thinking of, pictures of creation. And it's just not, I knew that wasn't what I wanted to do. And so I thought of my friend Kevin Moffatt. And Kevin and I have known each other for many years and have worked together more in the past than the present, but obviously now in the present. And it was always when we did used to do things together, and I was with my team, worship team, and Kevin would be up there with us, and he'd be creating things out of nothing, and it was awesome. And so there was so much happening at that time. So I just kind of felt, I think Kevin is the right person to do the art for this. And so I said, Kevin, can we meet? And do you want to just talk about that meeting and what I shared with you rather than me telling you what I shared with you?
Well, it's uh, something that I think it's not terribly unique to what happens with us, but I hope it happens with other people. Like when you hear a familiar voice and you know in the moment that, oh, God's speaking again, I need to just perk up. Because when Ruth gives a call, at least to me, I know there's a real reason behind it already, number one. And let's investigate further, kind
Mhm.
of thing. Because we always know that God has something particularly interesting to talk about, chat about, and share. And it is part of what we've been exploring a bit in co-laboring, but it's how he uses us in this form between each other, and we share. There's like a three-way sharing going on in a sense. And God knows which way it's happening more than the other, but as we were praying before we started, that there's a pouring in to us that we might be able to pour out.
Yes.
And I've a sense, not necessarily uniqueness that it happens with. I know it happens with other people, but he's trained us in such a way for so long now that we're so willing to listen and become the paintbrush at that moment
Mm.
to see what his expression is. And we really long to do that, so when Ruth comes and gives me a call, my ears perk up because I know God's about something in that moment. And I know others teach that, when you get downloads from God, he speaks to your mind first. That's not really the way it happens for me. I hear it as God speaking to my heart first.
Mhm.
And then it moves into the other areas where he needs to cause and affect
Yeah.
me to move in and about what he's creating at the moment. So, I need to gain information and all that stuff and then understanding what we're doing, what's this about kind of thing. But it's the heart that informs the mind in some ways, that discerning process of where are we going here, Lord? And what is this about? And how do you want this expressed? And what we found out in doing this project is that you step into any one of the days that he's set forth in his creation scenario, that there's so much information on each day that's spoken and unspoken
Yes.
and expressed in that creation process.
Mm.
And it's hard to put your finger on one thing like, oh, this is the whole day right here. So
Like in such a short, in a few words,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so in some ways, I'm still dealing with the revelation that he's downloaded. Yes, we've done the paintings that we're going to be using, kind of thing, in this project, but there's still one or two that I got to do.
It's
You
awesome.
know, so
Well,
I can't shut that door once it's been opened.
we can still open it up. When we met and we talked about it, and I knew that your heart was connecting with it, and I was very thrilled because it's like, oh, finally, this is what how it's got to work, and so just to give you an idea of the piece, how it works in terms of with the art. So the way it's written, there are obviously the 7 days that we're dealing with, and so the way I've created the piece is that the first part of each day is the text, is the biblical text, and the biblical text is sung in Hebrew. It's kind of free flowing. It actually uses the melody that would be sung in an Ashkenazi synagogue. So it would be very familiar to any Jewish person who attends synagogue. They would recognize this melody as they hear it, but obviously in a slightly different form and with a kind of a small orchestra that accompanies the voice. And then the second part of each day is my response. It's like, well, how do you pick? How do you pick what's the main thing that stands out for you when you think of this particular day? Because some days God's very, very busy. Some days it's very, very clear that there's a focus, there's a sort of a central part of it. And so that's how it works. So it's two parts to each day. So this is the second part of each day with the creative response, my responding to what I'm sensing God is showing me, and in a way touching my heart, and then I need that's when we have the art, and so the music and the art and I said to Kevin, it definitely needs to be abstract. Um, Except in a few circumstances, not to tell us what we're looking at, and it's a place for the eyes to rest, and so that as we listen to God's word and we digest God's word, it's the time to digest what we've just heard in terms of the text, and to digest that and to use the art to do it. So it's really is a musical and music and art meditation on Genesis 1, which we can usually read through in a couple of minutes, but this takes nearly an hour. So it really gives you the opportunity to sort of settle into it. So we can't obviously talk about all of the paintings you've done, Kevin, but maybe just we can pick a few.
Yeah,
So
happy.
okay, so I'm gonna show you the first one. So tell us about this one, Kevin.
Well, we're happy. I'm trying to be careful in the
Yeah.
titling of things because we don't want to
No.
necessarily overly inform. But this is about, in this moment, a whirlwind
Mhm.
of everything coming together that he needs to create with, in a sense. He's
Mhm.
creating his palette for the coming days, if you will. All the waters, all the molecules, all the dust, all
Mm.
the atoms are being collected into this one space that he's, in a sense, going to operate from, where he exists, and he can cause it to go where he wants it to go from here. It there was, in a fun sense, in creating this, there was a lot of wind. I'm pushing the paints with wind,
What with like
and
when you say with wind, you mean like a fan or
hair dryer.
a hairdryer? Okay. Awesome.
and an air compressor as well.
Amazing.
And that's what causes it to go out from the central parts where it's emanating from.
It's amazing. I love this because it's like so organic. It's like it's new and it's ancient somehow.
Mm,
That's what I feel
mm,
about this picture. It's really, really, really awesome.
mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna show you another one.
So this one, I'm again careful of the titles, but folding was my sense of it when after I did it. I was seeing when I started the palms of God's hands like out before him, straight
Mm.
up before him, and then the backs of his hands as he spread his hands apart would move everything aside as he occupied the space within. So he was both moving his hands outwards and moving forwards to occupy the space of creation.
Wow, it's beautiful. There's so much movement, and it's still almost the you kind of got the earth and the sea, like the greens and the yeah,
Yeah, a lot of the elements of what's coming are there.
yeah. And I always when I see the red, I can't help thinking of the blood.
Ah, very good.
Yeah, I mean just what what's going
Yeah,
to be as part of when he creates when he
yeah,
created when he created man and woman,
yeah,
um, male and female, he created them. I mean that's all part of it. We
yeah.
need that blood inside of us. So need that blood inside of us. So
Upper shelf,
yeah.
but at this rather explosive place of where there's a separating going on between the waters and the heavens. That's the firmament, where the dry land is being lifted and exposed.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the power of heaven is like shedding down to the earth in that place.
Mm.
Rather explosive. There's a lot going on with the bubbles in the water, which was a lot of fun. That kind of disappeared as it happens. It's kind of a part of the chemical process of what's going on there. But and this place where everything is just like imploding and exploding at the same time.
Mm, great. I think that's wonderful. Okay, so
Oh, okay. This way and that.
is that what this is called?
Yeah, because because of the way I was kind of led to make this. Well, there's a lot of these paintings have a textural undercoat, which I laid down some. It's a heavy gesso, and I caused the undercoat textural part to go in one direction underneath, and then when I started doing the color on top of it, I went in the opposite direction. So it's like again like almost like whirlwind in the sense of it's coming together.
Mm,
It's drawing in, and at the same time, it's exploding out. So it's drawing in the material that he wants to use and needs in a sense. He doesn't need it, but it's created in the moment he thinks about it,
mm.
and then the pushing out to where that needs to go to make his larger creation, whatever that might need to be.
Wow. This is so rich, this one. Love it.
They're all fun, but like this one is even more fun.
Yeah.
The the one thing you have to about this technique that I've been using, it's almost too much fun. It's so much fun, too much fun not to do,
Yeah.
you know, kind of thing. You can't not do it.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's awesome.
celestial weaving. So it's a place where he's pulling from his sources of creature and soul. Now, there's a lot of intermingling meanings in there, but and causing each one of his creative beings to be that particular being, the uniqueness within each one, as he's weaving it together.
And
So, go
is
ahead.
the thing the shape in the middle? It reminds me. Is this supposed to like represent the DNA?
It
Of,
is, yeah, that's a DNA that every creative thing, every living, breathing creative thing shares.
and is it the same number? Like it's a particular number, isn't it?
It is, but I'm not aware of it.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah.
A nefesh and chaya is life, but they're both forms of life. Nefesh is the soul, and
Yep.
chaya is life. It's this is
So,
amazing.
and he pulls from those two. They're not opposing. They're
No,
just those two areas to create this one thing that he's focused on in the middle.
oh, for all living things.
All living things have some shape or form or number or elements of these things that are there.
Mhm. Well, these are really great, Kevin. Thank you so much.
Oh, I so enjoyed the opportunity of doing this. I was so excited at first, like I couldn't build the canvases fast enough. I was like, oh, I gotta get into this. Oh, it was just way too much fun going. And the loads of revelation. At one point, I felt my inner being was imploding
Mhm.
because the amount of revelation that was coming. I was like, wait, slow down a little. I got to get some of this out first. You know?
I know. I know that feeling.
Yeah, very exciting.
Well, thank you to Kevin. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And we're just really, really excited about it. And I don't know what God is going to do with it in many ways. As with anything, when we put it into a video format and there are words in a language that people don't understand, it means that we can uh, put it into any language. So that's very exciting by just changing the words that are seen on the screen, but still while listening to the Hebrew. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it really get spread, and going to need your help to do that. So, you know, get the video and invite a bunch of friends over and watch it together and just take it. I think it's that kind of a piece. It's something to be shared together in an intimate setting. Because in many ways, even though it's so huge, the topic, there's something very intimate about it. And it really, in this format, gives us the ability to just rest in God's word and listen to Him and just take in the enormity of our creation, of the creation of this amazing world that God has made, the heavens and the earth. So bless you all and stay in touch. Let me know if you have any ideas and as to how to get this out there even more. And we'll just keep going with it. And be sure to buy a copy of the video. Bless you. Bye bye.